I also love the recent article in your blog, and it talked about a lady. She stood up in one of your recent speaking engagement or something.
Mhm.
And then I think probably it's the moment maybe you were speaking about the loop of the hook. And I think she talked about, my problem is not to create a new healthy habits, but my problem is to get rid of the bad ones.
Right.
And I want to bring this up because I know that my listeners now listening to all this, they are thinking the same thing. They say, all this sound good, but what do I deal with my all bad ones?
Right, right. So the first step is to master these internal triggers, to figure out what's going on and fix those problems that we can fix. And the problems we can't fix, learn tactics to cope with discomfort. The second step is to make time for traction. You see, 2/3 of people don't keep a calendar. And if you don't keep a calendar, if you don't keep a schedule, you have no right to say you're distracted. Why? Because you can't call something a distraction unless you know what it distracted you from. If you ask most people, what's the opposite of distraction? They'll tell you focus. That's not true. The opposite of distraction is traction.
Yep.
Both come from the same Latin root, and they both end in the same 6-letter word, action, A-C-T-I-O-N.
Mm-hmm.
So traction is any action that moves you towards what you want to do, something you plan to do with intent. The opposite of traction is distraction, anything that moves you away from what you plan to do. But here's the thing. If you don't plan your day, if you can't tell me for every minute of your day what you want to do with your time, of course you're distracted because you don't know what you want to do with your time. The most important job of a CEO, and I've been a CEO twice to 2 companies who have been successfully acquired, the only job you have as a CEO is to prioritize.
Yep.
That's all you do. That's all you have to do. Everything else is details. Your job is to prioritize. And starting with how you spend your time. It took me 5 years to write this book, and I interviewed hundreds of people, many of them top C-level executives. And let me tell you, every single one of them had either a piece of paper that they carried around with them all the time, or they had on their phones a calendar that told them exactly where they were supposed to be for every minute of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So guess what? We need to do the same thing. Now, this might sound, oh, that's hard to do. I don't know. It sounds like it's too rigid. Too bad. If you struggle with distraction, I'm telling you, the secret to solving it is about making time for traction in your day, planning out your day according to your values. Now, this is really important. There are 3 life domains, starting with you. You're in the center of your life domains. So the first thing you need to do, don't make a big goal for 5 years from now. Don't make a plan for where you want to be in a decade. Let's start with next week.
Yeah,
I want you to,
yes.
right? Just tomorrow, okay? How would your ideal week look like? And I'm going to give you a link for the show notes. I made a tool online that makes this really, really easy to do because I think that Google Calendar and Outlook, it's too complicated. I made a really easy tool, totally free. You don't even have to sign up for anything to make this really, really easy. What you want to do is to start with the you domain. Ask yourself, how can you spend your time in a way that's consistent with your values? So if taking care of your body is one of your values, if physical health, I'm not saying it should be, whatever is your values, that's what I want you to make time for. Turn that value into time. Do you have time for proper sleep in your schedule? Do you have time for exercise? If mental and spiritual growth is one of your values, do you have time on your calendar to pray or meditate or do whatever it is that's consistent with your values? If you don't, if you expect it to just happen, you're kidding yourself. It's not going to just happen. Then comes the relationship domain. Do you have time in your calendar for time with the most important people in your life? Or are they what we call the residual beneficiary? The people who get whatever's left over after you come home from work, right?
Yeah.
Do you have time for your friends, for your family? Then finally, with work, the final domain. Everybody I talked to when I interviewed people for this book, I asked them, do you need time for focused work? Do you need time to concentrate at your work? Everybody said yes. And then I said, well, show me that time. Where's that time on your schedule? I don't know. It's not there. Here's the thing. Let me let you in on a secret. A huge competitive advantage in business today is being the kind of person who prioritizes time to think. So many people think that the answers are going to be with some course or some guru or, some book is going to tell them the secret. The secret is sitting down and thinking about your problems, right?
Mm-hmm.
Writing them down, talking them with yourself, analyzing them for yourself is a huge competitive edge. But you need that time on your schedule. You need time for uninterrupted work, as well as time to check emails, time to go to meetings. So many of us, we react all day long as things come into us that we have no time for reflection. And so basically what's happening is we are prioritizing the urgent, the requests on us, as opposed to prioritizing the important. So that's the step 2 to becoming indistractable. Step 1 is mastering the internal triggers. Step 2 is about making time for traction in your day. And then after you have that time box calendar, you're going to share that calendar with the various stakeholders in your life. So this practice saved my marriage. It was unbelievable. I do this every week with my wife. We have a schedule sync where we look at each other's calendars for the week. Incredibly effective. Doing this with your boss or employees, incredibly effective technique to synchronize your schedules so that you can make sure that you're working on the right priorities. That's what the second step of making time for traction is all about.
And if you like this video and this episode, please make sure you like, subscribe, and share with others so more crisis center leaders have the opportunity to consume this type of valuable content. Before I go, I just want to remind you that you can click on the screen to go to the next business growth videos, and I will see you in the next episode.